how does your intentionality with them change over the years? So I know you're doing some things with them when they're younger, but you're talking about preparing them for launch, right? For going out into the world and being, believers and being adults. How does that change?
As far as, I don't have a grand plan for intentionality.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something that I've been very good at, probably. And I hear about people who have very specific, orderly things that they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really me, though. I'm not a very specific, orderly person.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I am very people oriented. I'm very connected in terms of relationships. And so I guess that's been a more organic thing with me, and continues to be with the kids, as I kind of respond to what I think that they need, where they are at any given time. And for me, that fundamentally has to be undergirded with my relationship with God, and how He interacts with me. Because we're talking about leading well from home, leading well at home, and honestly, I'm not a natural leader. That's just not something that comes very natural to me. I was never the person to step up and say, okay, I'm going to run things. I'm going to be the president of the class. I'm going to be, there may be a couple of times when I tried stuff like that, but I wasn't I was president of the choir when I was in college one year. I wasn't good at it. I didn't lead anything. I didn't come up with ideas. So that's not something that comes natural to me. And so I have to recognize that leadership is something that I'm doing, whether I intend to or not. Because I recognize as a father and as a husband, I'm leading even when I don't mean to. This is something I noticed as a parent early on, is that I'm parenting I'm training my kids even when I don't mean to train them. If we're in line at the grocery store and they ask for a candy bar and I say no, and then they whine for it and I change my mind to give it to them, I've just trained them. Hey, whining works. You should do that again. And so I recognized that, and I was like, okay, no, we don't want this. So I'll go down swinging on that one. No, you whine, then I'll even not give you one the next time. But if you accept my leadership in this situation, then maybe I'll give you one next time. And I kind of talked through that with them. So training happens in parenting, whether I intend to or not, and leadership happens with me as the husband and the father, whether I intend it to or not. And so for me, leadership has become a service that I offer my family, because I'm not good at it. I was like probably a lot of people before they have kids. I knew how to raise kids before I had any. And then once I had them, I was like, whoa, this is harder than I thought.
Yeah.
Because they're all different,
Yeah.
So we got to be pretty successful with the first one, and then the next one came along and she was different. And then the next one came along and she was different. I mean, I have some kids, you look at them a certain way and they're never going to make that mistake again.
That is, I would say, profound. That is accurate in terms of the way the Lord has created our children purposefully, uniquely. And yet sometimes I forget that, it's like, well, how is it that happens and why? And I think you're right. It is gifting, it is design. And how can we then help them develop and grow and use that for His glory?
That's my job, not to hang on to them, not to mold them into me, but to point them to the source.